All right, I started the stream late because I didn't want to stay up all night to play Evo when it clearly was not going to go wave 1, and it clearly also still does not look like it's going to go wave 1. Just to be clear, I don't see it happening this weekend based on everything that we see in this build. The doors still don't work. The Nyx is still crashing endlessly. I don't know what their needs are to make it go live. We're gonna just pop open the notes right now. Wrong computer. Hold on. Ooh. There we go. So the first thing is audience Evocati only, potential wave 1 this weekend if it validates. I don't know what validates would mean, but I don't see it validating. Based on the experiences that have happened, right? So let's talk about a few things, but I specifically want to talk about one thing. Now, they throw everything in here. So if you don't know what's coming in 4.7, we'll cover that here. This is the video for you, right? Operation Breaker Station is the rock breaker. So that's just saying, polish, these are the things that have been added to this individual patch, but then they kind of go over everything. So the inventory redesign is in, and I don't know what people are experiencing in PTU, but I will tell you, sure, it looks different, but now it has its own bugs. Every time I open something, I have to close it and open it again to see what's inside. Multiple times I've opened my inventory and we're looking back at 10 minutes ago instead of what should be in there right now, issues that we already have. So nothing is what I want to see. So that's not cool. Nelson, you'll have to tell me what the bleeding changes are. I'm not aware of them yet. I got an injury, but I don't think I ever bled. Or if I did bleed, I healed it really quickly. 2-panel layout. By default, your personal inventory opens on the left, and nearby external inventory opens on the right. Yeah, if it decides that it wants to open and show. So, is it more intuitive? It's the same inventory. It's the same inventory. And I gotta say, weird things were happening. I tried to pull a scope off of a gun and put it in a backpack, and it said the scope was too big. But then I put it in an inventory and then moved it over, and then it was fine. So there's a lot of weird stuff. One of the best things is nearby inventories. Proximity looting is pretty nice. Going up to a body that's dead and just hitting I, and you could pull everything off that body from that menu. That's really nice. Oh, that's right. Your vision blurriness. I saw that in the notes, but didn't experience it or didn't notice it. So that's nice, but it's also very odd. Because again, just one bug kind of making all the work feel icky at the moment. So hopefully they fix it. That's really what my experience has been. One really, really shitty bug. Equipment panel and paper doll. Equipment panel sits on the left side of the UI and shows your currently held item, holstered weapons, and tools. Really struggled to use it. I think I'm just used to the old way. I tried to right-click to drop, and nothing dropped. So that was a weird one. And it got me killed, which I was like, all right, that's not making me happy. And then moving and equipping items, they are moving and equipping much quicker. There's no denying that this has improved. And then, having a search is fantastic along with filter. To be honest, I haven't used stack all because the items that I'm carrying don't stack, which are the gems. They're just not stacking. Crafting is in, so you got the item fabricator. You can purchase it at the refinery shops if you lose the one that you have by default. Here's what I want to talk about today. Blueprints. So there are blueprints in the game. We will come back to that. So then you craft with the blueprints. You start out with now just a few blueprints, like P4AR, P6, S38, BR shotgun, and a set of armor that is not really exciting. I think P6 was in there. Don't quote me on that. I would have to open it up to double check. And then, yeah, you just assign the material to it. You just drag it over. So the quality that you want goes into the gun, and the quality determines how good that weapon is. And then you have a queue. Dismantling is very weird. You still dismantle any gun that is able to be dismantled. Some are, some aren't. You just get 600 quality items, which are much better quality than the average of what you seem to be finding. Maybe that is their average, but it doesn't feel like that's their average. And then material distribution overhaul. So this is a big one where I do think I am recognizing... Baltimore, thank you. I do think that I'm recognizing better stuff in Pyro as we've gone on. Now, when you read these notes are old. These notes are copy and pasted like they always are. I forget who does the notes. I don't care who does the notes. Whoever does the notes, it's never right. It's super annoying. Like, this is old stuff. Yes, so if 600 is given from looting and dismantling, why should I mine lower than that? Exactly, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. You should barely mine at this point with that choice. So we'll talk about, let's talk dismantling. They got to adjust that. They got to adjust that down to like 300. 200, 300, 400, somewhere in there. 600 is quite high, but again, it just currently makes the player not want to mine. Mining for UEC, again, UEC is still not a thing in the game. In the future, sure, but the lower quality stuff is just goofy. We will actually talk about why you would mine lower quality stuff in just a second. So mining distribution seems to be good, and then they have engineering gameplay. This is the big thing that everyone's talking about right now. Increased shield health, I felt the difference for sure. Armor balance, I absolutely felt the difference. A lot of people are saying this is a good thing. A lot of people are saying this is a bad thing. Basically, all it does is it takes repeaters out of the meta, puts cannons into the meta. That's all this has done really so far. But what it really does is completely ruin the game for new players. So if you are a new player and you buy a starter pack, it basically makes the game more pay to win at the moment. It needs a lot of tweaking, a lot of adjusting. If they go live with it the way it is now, that'll be horrible. They're probably not going to go live with the way it is now because we're still in Evo. We haven't even gone Wave 1 yet. So hopefully the feedback is, getting to them and they'll address it. But the super negative experience I had is I was in a Golem Ox, I believe, which is a very similar experience to a lot of the smaller ships, like the starter ships. They have size 1 or size 2 lasers, and those were I could not kill a C8 with that ship. I couldn't do Ghillie Mission 1. Ghillie Mission 1 should be able to be done by any ship somebody has with weapons. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I was missing my shots and the ship. It was impossible. So I had to have the ships run into an asteroid to complete the mission. I couldn't complete it myself. So there's like knock-on effects to these changes that are just horrible. But yeah, no, it was definitely supposed to go Wave 1 last night and it didn't. Radar is another big thing. Assigning power affects your aim assist now. Increased power demand for all radars. Activation power is either the same or lower. CS is only picked up on ping. So that's a huge one. That is the single coolest change I have seen them do around stealth and radar in particular. That is very, very cool. I just noticed that now in the notes, literally right now, and that makes me so happy because there are ships that are labeled as stealth, but their cross section is kind of high, right? And especially the more like industrial ships, your Golem, your Golemox, Prowler Utility. Trying to think of some other ones. Their cross section isn't 100, right? They're not the size of a. It's not like stealth is in the real world, where it's my understanding that like an F-35 on a traditional radar comes up looking like a bird. So it's like, you know, the cross section of that plane is non-existent, right? So it just like barely shows up on a radar. Whereas in Star Citizen, the radar's tied to like the signatures, right? And there's 3 of them, and the cross section tends to be the most impactful one. You're basically trying to get all your other signatures below the static cross section one, because as people just fly around you randomly, their cross section gets picked up. This is changing stealth forever, and I think in such a good way. So if you are not actively pinging, like I'm just thinking about EVE Online, like if you're not actively using D-Scan all the time, it's the exact same thing. You're not going to find the stealthy ships. That's very cool. And again, more radar-based aim assist, and there's so much information here. None of this is in the current build. So again, these notes are not representative of the current experience. It's very odd, but it does seem representative of what is there. It is, but it isn't. All these radars exist, but there's no way to change them in the VMA, and nobody can find where to buy them. So these radars seem stuck to the ships, and they may have different qualities or ability to find. I don't know yet. I haven't had enough time with this patch to understand this, but there's so many named radars. It's crazy. So people have to constantly spam ping now. No. Actually, no. But if you're doing something like Hathor, if you're doing something like the Contested Zone Executive Hangar, if you're doing something where players are going to attack you, stealth has become now a very big factor, and ping is your counter to their stealth. Now what CIG can do is probably raise cross sections a little bit, like maybe by 10%, something like that, on a lot of these stealthy ships. And the stealth of those ships that really matters is the IR and EM. And if you're not pinging, you're not going to see them. We'll see it. Yeah, I don't think it's customizable, the radar right now. So it's weird. It's a lot of writing for things that are sort of hard to experience. Now let's get back to the thing that I really want to talk about. And I have a lot of questions for you guys about it. I'm having this internal back and forth about this. And then somebody said something in Evo chat that I thought was really stupid. But then I thought more, and it's like, but I think the same thing, but in a different way. This is what they're doing in this current patch. Since adding crafting to 4.7, blueprints are randomized between dozens of different missions, none of which they really tell what they are, ranging from ghillie to FPS to industrial missions. So is it just ghillie, FPS, and industrial? I don't actually know. With the current approximate 25% chance on mission completion for a random blueprint. Blueprints are bound to the player's account and are retained through death. So you just do random missions in hope to get a random blueprint, which is very odd. I don't know if anybody likes this, but here's what somebody said. If it was me, I would do the fastest mission and spam to get them. Yes. If it was me, I would do industrial missions if they actually deliver them. Because then you can go and mine. You can mine up all the low quality stuff and then deliver it for these missions in order to get the blueprints, and then keep the high quality stuff in order to craft with them. But here's what somebody said in Evo chat that I really hated. But I also don't. It's odd. Blueprints need to be rare, though. And I think that's the mentality CIG has here is, well, we don't want everybody to have the blueprints all at the start because then they're just going to go mine high-quality material, make the highest quality guns, and then boom, everyone stops crafting. Nobody's in need for it anymore. So the person who like grinds the blueprints, has all of them, and all that stuff is going to have an advantage. Yes. That's true. Actually true. You know what I mean? So if we all had it, it would make the patch die really quickly. So I think that's the idea behind this. This is clearly just a placeholder. Clearly a placeholder. We heard the 1.0 talk. This has no representation of the 1.0 talk. Like, this is nothing like that, really. Outside of the fact that you do a mission and you get a blueprint. But then I thought about this too. If there was a 5% chance for a random blueprint to drop on a NPC that I killed, I would do that all day. But guys, I started my stream late today to play this, to give you what I thought about the newest update, because that's mostly what I've been doing for this week, because that's all that's really going on in SC. And I did 20 missions. 20 missions. Gilly and Industrial, and I got 0 blueprints. That is not fun. That was not an enjoyable experience whatsoever. But if I killed mobs, and I was earning, like, other stuff while I was doing it, it wouldn't feel so bad. I realized the Industrial thing towards the end of what I should have done. I should have went out and mined. I should have went and collected stuff and used the low quality, especially gems, because you can't determine the gems necessarily. You can, but you can't. Before you go and mine them at the moment, because the UI on the mining like attachment for your multi-tool doesn't show quality on it. So, number one, I want to ask you guys, what would you do differently? Number two, I want to try and understand what my mentality is over other people's, because again, I would be totally fine killing mobs over and over again for a rare drop. And they want the blueprints to be rare. Why am I struggling to do missions and enjoy missions for the same reason? Why do the two feel different? This is feedback for CIG. It feels so different for me to grind missions that I don't want to do, while gaining nothing else, really. The only reason to do the mission is the blueprint, and I'm not getting it. Where I guess if you're killing mobs in other MMOs, usually you are killing mobs, you're getting XP, the mobs are dropping other crafting materials, in our case, like guns, ammo, things like that. So I feel like I'm accomplishing more, where like when I complete a mission, I feel like I'm accomplishing nothing. Is that what's happening? Like, I'm trying to think through it with you guys. And I was like, this isn't fun. At all. So, but then I thought to myself again, if completing a certain mission that is only offered at a certain reputation, higher reputation, then I would be fine with it. But then it wouldn't make it rare. So I'm really just trying to run this through my mind of, is this bad? Is it not bad? It might be good. It might not be. So you don't want everybody to have all the blueprints, because then everybody will craft the best stuff nearly on day one. But is finding the blueprint where the rarity should be? Or is finding the material where the rarity should be? You cannot buy blueprints from other people? No. So for people who are confused here, if once you complete a mission and you do get a blueprint, there'll just be a pop-up on the screen like you had gotten a reward from one of their like global events. And that blueprint is now locked to your account. Right? Like Eve, BP should have run counts. I mean, that's an option as well. They've said that they don't want to do that, so they're going to try without that first. Well, they didn't say they don't want to do that. Some will have run counts, but others won't. And again, this is just a test. But I think this is a great time to give the feedback of, wow, I did not enjoy the experience of trying to get blueprints. And on top of that, one thing that I don't know, please leave a comment down below or in the Twitch chat. If run counts are, I find a blueprint, I can only make 10 guns with that blueprint. And when I make my 10th, that blueprint disappears. That's what that means. So here's the question that I have for some of you guys that I didn't experience because I went solo. If I joined a group of people on a server, similar to what we were doing for Alliance Aid, which everybody said was so community driven and so great, but is also just like a complete exploit, is if I join a giant group and we just do missions all the time, am I going to get the blueprint reward? Are we all going to get it when the mission completes and it actually drops? Because then that's all people are going to do. And guess what? Everyone's going to have the blueprint on day one. So doing it this way is exploitable, potentially, and doesn't feel good and all that. I don't have the necessary answer of a better way to do it. Outside of something that they clearly want to do but are incapable of doing, which is, you know, a quest line. At the end of the quest line, you get the blueprint. I don't know. I'm really struggling with this. I can give you the example of what happens in EVE Online, which, because I've talked a lot about EVE as a good blueprint. Pardon. You know, I did that on purpose for what CIG should do. And you know, you kind of earn a currency called LP, and LP is just a currency name, but it will be for a certain organization in the game. And that organization will have a shop. And I turn that LP in for blueprints, rare, usable blueprints from those companies. And then outside of that, you just buy the non-rare blueprints, and they have costs associated with them and training associated with them. It's different. It's not necessarily what CIG want to do. But so like I wouldn't copy EVE entirely here. I mean, I would, but it's just not the direction CIG is going. It's very different, the crafting. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense to do that. For that thing. But the store is not a bad idea. But that makes the rarity go behind the willingness to grind, which is the exact same thing here. There's just no RNG associated with it. I want to get a blueprint to create, I don't know, a helmet in the game. I can buy that specific helmet. Blueprint, that feels a lot better based on your work. I think the big issue is the RNG. Like, one of the guys in our Evo chat had legs drop today. A blueprint for legs. I don't want those legs. We played for hours to, you know, so it's like, it doesn't feel good. So I'm just curious how you guys all feel about this. I keep thinking about it, and I'm struggling with it. And I feel like this is what they're going to go with, which is also really unfortunate. So yeah. Yeah, like we have this RNG stuff in way too many situations, and we don't like it. So I don't know why they keep dropping it into everything. Like the first comment I made when I went live today was, wow, that was a waste of time. Because I just did a bunch of missions and got nothing for them. And it felt so bad. So, yeah. That's where we are right now. I don't think this is going to ruin the patch. I don't think this is going to ruin anything necessarily. Because, again, we will find the way. and the way will definitely be to share the missions. But there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way, guys. There's got to be a better way. I don't know. Yeah, like, do we need to add luck stats to our character to get the 25% drop chance to go up to 45% or something? Like, I don't know, man. And the fact that it's just like random missions and they haven't told you which ones they are. I don't know. For me, for a first implementation with a wipe incoming, and they should just literally wipe everything. Like, I don't know what we're doing at this point. I would have just thrown all the blueprints in and just let people do their thing and have a good time. But that's just for a short period. But we're talking long term here. What do we want this to be? No, they didn't announce a wipe yet, but it's got to happen at some point, is what I'm saying. I mean, I think we all know this should go down quest lines, right? Or should be purchased. I don't know what to do. Also, there's something in the notes that I have to just, again, this is like everything we're reading is kind of pointless because you don't know what's real and what's not. The blueprint thing seems to be real. Material distribution. Here we go. For ship minables, all rocks are now one resource plus inert. No, they're not. Now I can tell you copied and pasted this guy. Who made this post? Is this like an intern? No, it's Wikipedia. He just copied and pasted. That changed yesterday. So this is not a thing. This has not been updated. And I don't know if we are to blame Wikipedia on this. Maybe you blame Torsten on this or something, because like they have to send them the changes, and the changes weren't in the notes. We just found them. But the video that I made yesterday still is relevant today. There are one resource rocks, and there are multiple resource rocks in the same way. Yeah, Waka just compiles it, but does nobody check? Does nobody check it? You know? Does nobody check? Like, these notes, like, I read this and I went, are you kidding me? Why would they backtrack on something that they only had positive feedback for? Like, this had very negative feedback. The change from yesterday had very positive feedback. So why did, that's what I was thinking here. So the notes not being correct is not a good thing. But yeah, I don't know, man. Back to this 25% thing. This is horrible. Worst change they've made around blueprints so far. And I think the only thing they could do right now is either give all the blueprints to everybody and make sure the material quality, the highest stuff is very rare, or do something entirely different. But whatever they're doing now, I don't want to see. I like the idea of the one resource thing, but then in practice it didn't work, and what they changed to was much better. I trust them to come up with better solutions than I trust myself, of course. So yeah. So I have no idea, man. This is a weird one, folks. This is a weird one. So let me know how you feel about it. I hate the idea of this completely, but I don't have a better solution, because the person who said the blueprint should be rare in this 2-month patch cycle, with not their inability, the fact that they really don't want to wipe much is it's almost necessary for us to not complete stuff too quickly. So, like, they're not wrong, but there's got to be a better way to do it. And I really feel like the people who are saying blueprints should be consumable are on the right track. And that's where I'll end this conversation, is given everything we're seeing in the game, it's hard to not think that a blueprint being a consumable is the best option. Yeah. To me, it really feels like it is, but we'll see. We'll see.